Now the modern revival of Islamic economics. So far Islamic economics has made some progress, but not enough. There is a great room for you to make contributions. It has, whatever has been achieved is good, but Islamic economics has not been able to come out of the intellectual web of conventional economics. The emphasis that should be there on development with justice has not been sufficient, and Islamic economics has a long way to go before it can achieve what it was desired to be achieved. In this process, we don't have to reject everything that conventional economics has produced. There are some of our Islamic economists who say that all of conventional economics has to be rejected and we build Islamic economics on an entirely different foundation. This would not be right, because all conventional economics are not of a homogeneous nature. There are so many of them who stand for the values of the religion which are the same as our values, and they have made a great deal of contribution. So we can benefit from what they have written. And anyway, many of these are influenced by their own religious teachings, and many of their religious teachings are the same as the teachings of Islam. The Quran itself says, "Ma yuqalu laka illa ma qad qila lirrusul min qablika." Nothing is being said to you which was not said to messengers before you. So the teachings brought by all messengers of God are more or less the same. Some variation as a result of changes in time and situation. So many things are the same, and there are many Western economists who have produced valuable material, and we can benefit from it. So to say that we reject everything that conventional economics has produced would not be right. We take whatever is good and reject what is wrong. This has always been the character of Muslims in the past. They borrowed a lot of things from the Greeks, from the Sasanians, Byzantines, and from India, from China, and they produce a great deal of valuable material. So this is to talk in terms of rejecting everything would not be right. We take what is right and reject what is wrong. So thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Shapa. And now we are for questions. And let's start first with International Islamic University. Do you have any question?
Assalamu alaikum. Also, thanks for Dr. Chopra, and we have been listening to Dr. Chopra earlier also, and we have also been reading his articles and his books. All these things was very much informative. I will just add one thing, just to support, not to resist, but to support about self-interest. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has repeatedly instructed that ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. In every hukam of the Holy Quran, that carries the self-interest of human beings. Allah invites to that self-interest. If you know, if you decide, or if you think, so this line of action will be better for you. Thank you very much. Sorry that most of the students are in the classes or they are engaged, so the number is very small. Inshallah, next time we will try to get larger number of students to listen the lectures. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are right, of course. Things Islam has not asked us not to serve our self-interest. It is a part of the teachings of Islam. But you see, self-interest, serving self-interest within a certain value perspective. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. ذَلِكُمْ, what is this? This is the perspective that has been indicated by the Quran, by the Sunnah. So self-interest, if I am allowed to go to the market and buy goods and services to fulfill my needs, but if I buy luxury goods and create an unnecessary expansion in the claims on resources and ultimately lead to deficits in budget balance of payments, also increase inflationary pressures, then there comes a problem. So serving of self-interest is good, but within the perspective of Islam. And this is also indicated in so many places in the Quran. All these values that are given by kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu, eat and drink but do not exceed limits. Wa la tusrifu, in other words, imposes a certain limit. Kulu, eat, washrabu, drink, wa la tusrifu. So everywhere the Quran has allowed us to serve our self-interest, but also laid down certain principles to guide us. And this is what we have to observe. If we do this, then we will not claim, we will not create excessive claims on resources, and will help everybody. I mean, in many societies, the problems arise because the rich people impose excessive claims on resources and leave fewer resources for the poor people, so that their condition does not improve. This is what we are trying to emphasize. Not banning the serving of self-interest, but taking social interest into account while serving our self-interest. And it is not difficult because Islam has given values. Kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu. Immediately after kulu washrabu, there is wa la tusrifu. If we take this into account, we will create a proper balance in society. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. If there is any other follow-up question from the International Islamic University from Pakistan?
क्या है कोई? हाँ?
Seems like the super seems like it's like I hope I will explain to the lecturer however the conventional Islamic systems demand is controlled the needs of luxury goods wherein Islamic economic development is a great demand in society.
Also,
just want to say something.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In slide number 10, I have a little bit confusion. As you have said that in conventional economic system, the demand and supply side curves are made of both luxury goods and needs. And you have made a separate schedules for both need and luxury goods, their demand and supply, and also you pointed out its equilibrium point. However, in my view, it is also possible to make a separate equilibrium point for both needs and luxury goods separately. A little bit confusion I have in slide number 10. The diagram and that market mechanism which we have drawn, the demand and supply curves, and we said that the conventional economics does not make any difference between luxuries and needs, and there is just, if you increase demand, the price will go up. And we have also said that in case of Islamic, if we reduce those supplies and the demand for needs will increase and the price will go down. So the student says that he has got some confusion in that diagram. Thank you.
Well, anyway, what I am trying to say is that generally in all conventional economics textbooks, there is only one demand curve and one supply curve. And the demand curve includes everyday demand, including the need fulfilling goods as well as luxury goods. There is no distinction. This is not discussed because it involves value judgments, and value judgments are avoided in conventional economics. But in Islamic economics, you have to divide these things: need fulfilling goods and luxury goods. Of course, there can be a great deal of dispute about what is luxury and what is not luxury. This can be discussed some other time. But anyway, we have to separate the luxury goods and the need fulfilling goods, and also the supplies in the same way. And then you can see that the claims on resources will go down and the price will go down, and the quantity of goods produced. Then of course in another graph which is not here, I have shown that because the demand will go down and the supply will also go down, therefore there will be unemployment. Then you create another problem in this way. But this problem can be solved by increasing the supply of demand of need fulfilling goods. You know, there are so many people in our societies whose needs are not fulfilled. So you have to increase the supply of need fulfilling goods and services, which lie in many different directions, in medical facilities, in food, in education, in so much. So there is a great room for expanding the supply of need fulfilling goods, so that any unemployment that is created as a result of reduction in the demand for need fulfilling of demand for luxury goods can be offset. In fact, can be more than offset by the increase in the demand for need fulfilling goods and also their supplies. This is what I am trying to show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Do you have more questions?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we move to Markfield Institute. Do you have any question?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you very much, Doctor, giving us the difference between the Islamic economic and also conventional economics. So, based on the hadith that mentioned just now, "Man a'rada an dhikri fa inna lahu ma'ishatan danka," whoever turns away from my teachings will have a difficult life. So, what I understand from this hadith, we will have a good or better life if we follow the teaching in all phases of our life, including in terms of economics. So, but in fact, in this world now, we can see that conventional economic from the Western perspective, and then we can see that the Western countries, they are better than us in terms of their life, their economics, compared to the Muslim countries. So how do you relate with the situation, the current situation, and also with this ayah Quran? Thank you very much.
Well, of course, this is a good question, but the answer is very, very obvious. The Muslim countries have not lived up to the teachings of their religion. I mean, politically, socially, economically, in every respect, you look at Muslim societies, and there is a great deal of gap between what Islam teaches and the way the Muslim countries operate. So, if they had lived in accordance with the teachings of Islam, naturally their life would have been much better than even what we see in Western societies. I mean, Western societies, we have to pay compliments to them for doing a lot of very good things. They have social insurance, they have unemployment benefits, they have medical facilities, medical insurance, and so many things. I mean, education, facilities for education, and their economic development is much better. But nevertheless, there are problems. And they have done whatever they could to solve many of their problems. But the problems remain. If they had abided by many of the teachings of their own religion, which are more or less the same as the teachings of our religion, then some of these problems would have been solved. Now, how can I say that the teachings of their religion are the same as the teachings of Islam? Because all these religions are the outcome of the teachings of prophets, whether it is Moses or Jesus or Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These teachings in many respects are the same, except what was necessary because of the change in time and circumstances. So they have, I mean, you can see the unemployment benefit and old age benefit and factory regulations and things of this type. All these things are a part of their society. They have implemented this, but we have not. What happened is that democratic governments implemented the values of their religion. What secularism did in Western societies is to free the society from the dictatorship of the church, but the values of their religion remained. I mean, whether you can say that they adopted secularism. Secularism was in terms of the freedom from the dictatorship of the church, but the values remained, and the democratic governments implemented those values, and they are much better in many respects. They work hard, they report to work on time, they work 8 hours a day, and conscientiously. We don't do this. We have to be forced to come on time, and even if we are forced to come on time by the system of punching cards, many of our people come, they punch the card, they stay for a couple of hours in office, and they disappear for a couple of hours doing their own jobs, and then they come. And in the evening they punch the card again. So they show that they have come on time and they have gone on time. But in between 2-3 hours, where were they? So this requires a sense of honesty, which many people in our societies have, but a lot of people don't. And because of there is this problems. And this is not going to go away very easily. Children have to be brought up in such a way at home and in schools, teaching them these values of Islam, and then we will improve. So they are better off because they have acted in accordance with their values, and their values come from their religion. And we have not acted upon our values, and we are therefore suffering. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. Do you have more questions, Mark Field?
Okay, thank you very much. No question from here.
All right, we come to the end of this first lecture in our 16th distance learning course. I'd like to thank Dr. Shabra for his continuous support for this, for initiating actually, and his continuous support for this program. Inshallah, our next lecture will be with Dr. Anas Al-Zarqa, and it will be on fiqh issues for Islamic economics. Until next week, I leave you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.